Good morning. This is March 1st, 2022, and my name is Jesse, also goes by Azul Onyx. I haven't recorded in a while due to some classes that I've been working on, which we'll talk about one of the classes right now, which is Paraben's E3 platform, which I was able to do both of the classes, both for device seizure for the mobile and for the P2 Commander. Before that, I will be getting back to XSleep soon. I haven't had a chance with all these classes and stuff coming up. I do have another video on some other forensics tools and another class that I have attended recently through CISA. So hopefully those will come out soon as I try to work through these. But many of these classes are time sensitive, and as soon as I get a chance, I will record my takes on these classes and or platforms. But for this particular video, I'm going to talk about one particular tool, and that's going to be Paraben. So Paraben's E3 platform, they recently had a short-lived, like very, very short-lived, where you can register for their two classes, which I'll talk about both of them. Then, as soon as I talk about the platforms, excuse me, I'll go into talking about, or not, reverse that. I'm going to talk about their classes, and then I'll go talk about the platform itself. Unfortunately, my key has expired because they only gave a 30-day key out. So there's some stuff I will show from some of my notes, and then other things I will actually either point out or show in the actual free version of E3 Universal, which unfortunately has a whole bunch of stuff disabled because, of course, it is free. So getting into that, let me jump over to Obsidian, which I use to take notes for all of this, to talk about the classes and the likes and dislikes for that side that I actually had to work with. So there were two classes. You had Paraben's P2 Commander, or their P2CO course, and specifically dealt with their parts of E3 that were specifically for their computers and those type of hosts. They also had the device seizure course, or the DSMO, which is specifically for the mobile courses. Now, one frustrating thing about these courses was the overlap. I'll get to that in a little bit later, but there is a lot of overlap on how the interface works. Of course, it's the same platform. I just wish it was noted more in the actual classes themselves. Here I'm showing Obsidian. This is where I took all my notes at. On one side, I'm showing the P2 Commander course. On the other side, I'm showing device seizure. Now, because of the way Obsidian works, I skipped a whole bunch of sections in the Commander, P2 Commander, because I did the device seizure first. But as you notice, there's different areas here. So you have there's a licensing. There is there's a license, and there is other bits of information in here. So for the mobile operator course, which I did first, the course went over all the licensing, forensic containers, important backups, all the normal stuff, some wizards, exporting, some evidence stuff. Now, I will point out that the evidence that they kind of go over is very, very limited. It's like, here's a little bit piece of that evidence, how to work with it, and that's it. They don't really go over in depth on all the evidence types or every types of things that we'll do. In the Commander, they did go over important cloud data, which was pretty interesting. They're not the only tool to be able to import cloud data directly from the cloud without actually exporting it and then importing it again. So here, and if you look over here, on the evidence side, you have physical hard drives, data triage, which is kind of interesting. Not a lot of tools do data triage in the same sense as it being an actual triage. Triage meaning the pertinent information that you need to start working your case, or in time-sensitive stuff. You know, if you're looking for somebody who's currently missing, you could triage, phones or computers or cloud data, and then get a sense of what information you have, or look for specific key bits of information, and then go back and look at it more in depth. So they also have some email stuff, internet, all the normal stuff you see for artifacts. on a actual computer. Let's see, skip list, more cloud data, and then generally the bottom of this for that additional features and stuff is all the same. So the course generally was fine. There was no issues with either course. And the information they gave you, and giving you the 30-day license key really does help, especially when the course is free and they're like, here's a key, use our software. Like I said, the biggest downside is up here in the interface stuff. So in the interface, which I'll pull up the interface itself. So in the interfaces is all this stuff. This is the same of both. I mean, they use the exact same interface. I mean, this broken down interface right here that I'm showing is the exact same interface in either one. Just the only difference is, if you look up at the toolbar, you'll notice that certain things will be grayed out depending on what type of license key you have. Some software may remove options altogether, like you don't find them, which to me might be better. I don't know. Maybe leave comments to let me know. Would you rather the options be missing or shown to you grayed out where you can't click on them? We're going to see this a lot when I open up E3 in a minute, and then you'll notice a lot of options are grayed out, unclickable. Some options are unclickable due to just not being relevant to the situation at hand. The look to this software is the same as other types of software when you get to this particular point. And you have a content of location of files, which is number 2 here. Number 3 would be where you look at your files, and then 4 and 5 is other bits of information, bookmarks, and other things. Lots of software looks like this, and it pretty much travels the same way. If you know one of them, it's pretty easy to pick this up. One of the biggest differences between this and other software would be the skip list. So the skip list is just a way to filter out files that you do not want to have. Be very careful because you skip files you may want. But you can't put them in a skip list and then they're skipped for your thing. And then this is select data would be added to skip list. It's skipped when you open the evidence next time on this computer. Now, that's a thing I don't understand. Why a skip list only for the computer you worked on it on? This is an issue if you're using multiple computers or multiple investigators in the same case, and you all need to skip the same set of files. Now you're setting up the skip list according to this over this, multiple times. Make sure you have the same set of skip lists. And I didn't see in here when I was looking through it on. I didn't see a way to export skip lists and never import them. But you can add items to skips. They show up here if you notice. They show up if you skipped any items in that list. And the other up here, you can actually see. You can view the skip list. Now you have all the skip lists items that you skipped in here that you don't need to see. So that was interesting. I haven't really seen. I guess there are some exclusion lists of some sort in some other software, but I don't know that they've done it in this manner. There'll be another piece of software I'll talk about that has even a crazier way of doing this, but it's different, and they don't call it skip list. So let's see. Oops. These are installed. This is installed applications if you use a mobile. It actually lists all your installed applications here. Again, this is no different than using other types of tools that have this same type of capability. When you look at that, a lot of hosts and devices all have the locations known, and a lot of forensics, a lot of people out there have done the research to say this is the way you look for this and that. So this looks very similar to other tools. Cloud data, you don't see that often, even in these tool suites. And then, so one of the other things I was interested in is this right here. So you can actually search by emoticons, emojis, or however you want to say it. So you can actually search those inside of all of the files inside of your evidence to find those pictograms in case they've been used for other things. I mean, you can use pictograms to distinguish, targets or drugs or other things you're looking for, even people, instead of saying their actual name. You can use these to identify that and identify where those where that information is located at. It was interesting. I think some tools might just have this built in generally if you just put them in there. I've never seen, this is one of the tools I've seen that you can actually search directly. There's an option to pick, your different pictograms to search by. So that's again, a positive. Now, one of the other things that's interesting is in here, when you're using the tool, all right, you really want to import your evidence, then analyze your evidence using the content analyzer. You really want to do this, at least sort data or index keywords. This is like one of your first steps you want to do after importing. If you don't do this sort data, you won't be able to search right. If you don't index keywords, you can't search your evidence. You have to index first and then search it. Some tools will do this automatically for you. You don't have to do it. This will not do it. So if you need to use these features, you'll have to do it ahead of time. There's also a pane, which is right here. So you have the case content pane, then you have the sort of files pane, and then this will list all of your different sorted files by type, file type, and other data. And you really want to do this. This is a big thing. Again, weird nuance to the application. So that, and so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and pull up the VM here, and we will take a look. So just like before, we've got this, and just like before, you have this little toolbar up here, which has your add evidence, all the different options, acquisitions, import from cloud, and all the different things. Now, a lot of these are marked out for me. I'm hitting add evidence. Now, every tool you're going to hit, it's going to tell you to create a case. I'm just going to create, and I'll just leave it there. That's fine. I don't know what option it's going to give me. So what we're going to do, all right, so this is your add evidence. Now, if you notice, some of these are grayed out. These, potentially, it won't let me add them. All right. Actually, interesting enough, I actually can't add any evidence because it's grayed out. So here's your logical physical drives image. You can add an email database and a whole bunch of other options. Again, this is a lot of places do this. Some tools do this automatically. Some like this one, you choose which one you want. You can also choose auto detect if you don't want to wait. So let's add an evidence. And as I stated before, this sidebar over here has your now that I have a test case here, but I don't have any data in it, but here's your test case. If you were to sort your evidence, you would show sorted files here. These would be where your sort files would be at. And then all your case information is up here for your open, save, and all that. So it's pretty easy, and it's, to me, intuitive to use, but it can be kind of strange on some of the stuff that they do, or some of the stuff that you have to do in order to do where you want to go. So again, is it bad? No, I'm not gonna say anything about that. If you go to the Paraben's website, which I'll pull up real quick. This is their E3. It says top tier. That's debatable, right? And then and it is a platform. And here's their interface, data management, and some company support. So I think generally, will this work for your organization? That is totally up to you. It is an Automate suite, just like other types of tools out there. And I'm not trying to mention any tool, but any tool you think of potentially could have similar capabilities and things. One of the biggest issues is, let's see if I can do it. Whoops. No. It actually will not let me. This might be one of the few that you can actually go and like purchase. No, not an issue. There's an issue with the website. Well then. So one of the issues I have with some tools, commercialized tools, you can't purchase them yourself. So you're stuck with either a free version or just no version at all. But this looks like you might be able to purchase it directly from them, which may be beneficial to people in school or smaller labs or something like that, or someone wanting to play around with this particular tool. But again, to me, the training was fine. Wish it could be better by organization where the universal E3 platform itself is separated from each individual side, whether it's mobile or PC. I think that would be a hell of a lot better. Maybe people have different opinions. You can just let me know in the comments, or reach out to me on Twitter or something. But I think that it is an option for some people. I didn't get a large chance to test a lot of data or a large amounts of data. First time using the tool, so my opinion is it's similar to other tools. There's nothing big about it. Like I pointed out, some of the content analysis or the way it does, where you have to import and then analyze with the content analysis is interesting. Everyone's starting to go to cloud data, so it's getting more prevalent than it was before. And is it slower or faster than other tools? I mean, it really depends. I would have to do more tests on it, but unfortunately my keys expired. But if you do get a chance to try it out, go for it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the tool if it's within your budget or scope to use. I don't think there's any issues. It does do forensic containers as well, so you can actually export your files into a forensic container and protect it that way. I don't know if those containers were encrypted. It didn't say, I don't think. And let's see, I think they were just password protected. Yeah, they're just password protected, but I don't know if that's actually encrypted or just password protected. So just might be a simple type protection on them. But yeah, if you have any questions, comments, want to see, have any questions about the class, please hit me up, let me know, and then I can go from there. And then, so if you want to support this channel, I'll hopefully be doing some more videos on some other suites that I've been testing out here lately. I will be doing a roll-up video between all of the different tools in the next several weeks as I go through the classes, and then do my initial review of each of the courseware. If you want to support this channel, you can like, subscribe for this video and my channel. You can also support me at Buy Me a Coffee, links on screen. And if you do have any other types of videos and content you want to see, just let me know. Hit me up on Twitter at Azul Onyx. And I'll see you in the next one.